Hi there, welcome to Real Estate Update. I'm Ellie McNair along with James Wedgeworth. How are you?
Great, great.
Good. I want to ask you, if someone out there is thinking about putting their house on the market,
Yes.
what would be the first piece of advice or the best advice you might want to give them?
That's a good question, because that happens every day. Usually what we tell people is, a lot of times I go meet with people and they say, we want to sell the house, what should we do? Most people think, can I sell it the way it is? And to answer your question, yes, you can. A lot of times you won't get as much for it. So there are a couple areas that we normally recommend to people. One is kitchens. Look at your kitchen. And we get this, Allie, all the time. I say, well, you know, those Formica countertops are really not in. And the wife will say, I've been trying to get John to do that for 5 years. And then I come in and say, do it. She said, now you're making me do it. I should have done it 5 years ago. I could have enjoyed it.
Not too happy in the moment, right?
Yeah. So that's one thing you can look at. Wallpaper, there's a lot of ugly wallpaper. And all wallpaper's not in that much. People keep saying it's coming back in, but I don't think so. So a lot of times we will recommend people on some wallpaper's worse than others. Grandmother's wallpaper, I call it.
Is that the flowery
Yeah.
stuff?
We will recommend that they possibly take that down in the bathrooms. You don't have to do that. Another thing a lot of times we'll recommend is they smooth paint the ceilings.
Yeah. What is it about everyone has a real hang up about the popcorn ceilings, don't they?
Well, it's a little dated and they don't do it in the new constructions.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, popcorn ceilings were done to hide the poor workmanship.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
It
didn't know
wasn't
that.
something they did because it was in. It just covered up the
No
workmanship.
kidding. Yeah.
You know, so if you smooth paint it, you see the workmanship.
Okay.
So you got to make sure that.
Sure.
So we recommend that
That's
sometimes.
from what I hear, and I haven't had to do, but that is really messy.
That was a real messy, but we do a lot of it. So we recommend that. Bathrooms, kitchens, a lot of times paint, a lot of times get rid of the shag carpet. And then those are kind of the 5 things
Sure.
that we look at. Now those things are expensive. And people say, do we really have to do that? It depends. I can tell you, I know I was working with a couple the other day and I told them, here's what your house is worth. And they said, can we sell it the way it is? And I said, yeah, we can. It was in good shape. And they said, well, send your stager over. I sent my stager over. And they called me the next day and said, oh, we're so upset. She wants us to do all these things. I said, well, all those things are good things. You don't have to do them.
Right.
And I don't want people to say, you know, don't call James Wedgeworth. He's going to make you rebuild your house.
Sure.
But those are things that help you get more money and make the house more sellable, so it sells quicker.
Okay, here's an example. I can actually, a neighbor of mine who lives in a really nice area, not on my street. My street's nice too, though. Yeah. But she told me her house has been on the market for over a year, and I know it's over $1 million. You know, I'm not sure how much.
Yeah.
And she said her real estate agent said, people come in, they like it, but it needs to be updated. It needs to be updated. So she had all 4 bathrooms redone.
Yes, a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
If you try, especially if you're in that over $1 million market,
Yeah, no kidding.
there's certain things people expect.
Sure. I mean, are homes stay on the market longer when they're in that range? Do they not, or do they get snapped up?
Now, the market, the higher price homes are selling slower than lower price homes. So the upper end market, for whatever reason, is very, very slow. And there's some reasons for that, but it's very slow.
Yeah.
So you got to look at your competition. And I tell people, if you want to sell your house, one of the best things you can do is you can look at what's on the market. It's what we call be a buyer for a day.
Sure.
If you were a buyer today, what would you pay for your house if you went and looked at the other houses? I've actually thrown people in my car and say, let's go look, and we get through and they say, you're right, you're totally
Sure,
right.
actually that's a good idea though,
Yeah.
because then you can really see is my home, does it compare to something
Yes.
else that, you know, in the price range I want for my home.
Yeah, well, it tell you what it's like. It's like telling somebody got an ugly baby. You know, your kid's ugly. They don't like to hear
Were
that.
you an ugly baby? I was. I'm 62 and I was born 8 pounds 6 ounces. That was big for a girl back then. They all thought I was a boy, but anyway.
I tell people, don't take it personally. If you look at a house down the street and it's less money, it's newer, it's larger, and it's in better condition, it's going to sell over yours.
Okay, so new construction, let's talk about that, because I know there's a little going on. I remember when for a while there was nothing.
We've had a surge in building recently.
Okay, here I mean, here on Hilton Head, beyond Hilton Head, or what's it looking like as far as that goes?
Okay, new houses sell quicker.
Do they?
Obviously they do that.
Yeah.
That's just a national statistic because
People just like to move into a new
brand
home.
new house.
Sure.
We don't have a lot of them on Hilton Head. For years we didn't have any. We've had some recently. The Bluffton market's really strong. Most everything in Bluffton is either new or newer.
Yeah.
So a lot of people buy newer houses because they like brand new houses. And that puts pressure on people that have older homes to update their home and make sure that their house competes with the newer house.
Okay, here's a question for you. What if I have a home and it's newer, or it's one that I've updated because you told me I need to do it, and there are other homes in my community that are 30 plus years old and are starting to show signs of some big time wear and tear as someone drives by? Is that going to hurt me?
Not really, because that's going to help you. Because if you're selling in a market where a lot of older homes and your house is updated, your house will sell first.
Okay, but overall, I guess, but if I have one of those older homes, I better do the updating, I guess.
Well, it's a function of price. I tell people you've got two options. At this price, you can update it, or you can sell it the price it is now and not update it. But you won't get top dollar usually for it if it's not updated, because the new buyer comes in, he says, well, I got to do this, 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 and this. And that's going to cost me money, and so I can only pay you X because I've got to spend X on it.
How long of a wait is it these days? Because I haven't had work done to get somebody in to do the kind of work that may be necessary if I'm going to list my house.
Ever since Matthew, we have found that the subcontractors are very, very busy. You know, fortunately, we have good relationships with them, and I always tell people, if you want something done, don't go to the yellow page. Just call James Wedgeworth.
Okay.
Aaron in my office does a lot of that.
Can I call too?
You
even
can
if
call her.
No, I'm kidding. If my house isn't on the market.
We'll do anything for you.
All right.
I always tell people, if you need something done, call us. We know who can do it, and sometimes we can tell you who not to use.
Okay, well that's good to know
we're in
too.
it. We do it all day, every day.
Sure.
Like a client of mine called me yesterday, and he said, we've used so-and-so for HVAC in the past. I said, I don't think I would use them. And I say, here's who I would use. We get great service, and I gave him a guy that I'd get great service out of. He went over right away.
Good.
Because I called him and said, hey, my friend needs his, will you take care of him? And because he's had a good relationship with us, he went right over.
That's great. Let's talk about Sea Pines and how that, it's more, big time rentals and everything, but you were telling me that stuff really can move there quickly if it's updated.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
We sold a house to a guy, and he redid the house. He hired a great decorator, and he spent a lot of money on the house.
Do you know, was he originally doing it for himself, or do you think he wanted to flip it?
Well, actually, he was doing it for himself.
Okay.
But he ended up buying another house that he'd been looking at. He had two houses. And we put the house in MLS at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night. By 10 o'clock Sunday morning, we had 4 showings requested. In 2 days, we had 11 showings. We had 2 offers, and it sold. In 2 days, we had 11 showings. But the house looked perfect. They had totally redone everything.
They pretty much gutted it, do
you
think?
They gutted it, and I'm sitting there with other houses I've had listed for 6 months in that area, and I haven't had 11 showings in 6 months.
Do you get some phone calls when somebody says, "Oh, why did that one sell and mine's still on?"
And I'd say, I just send them the link, and they go, "Hey, I got it." The house was in perfect condition, but the guy
everything was new inside.
Everything was new, and it had that quote Palmetto Bluff look.
Yeah.
Fresh, open, bright.
Nice.
Great kitchen, and people went online, and everybody wanted to see that house. And that puts pressure on the guy that hadn't done those things.
Sure it does. That makes it difficult.
11 showings in 2 days is a lot of showings.
Were you doing a little dance because you were happy, or
excited.
were you expecting it to be that good?
No, I didn't think we'd have that much activity. The guy that sold the house was very pleased.
I'm sure he was.
But he did what we told him to do. He listened. Most people don't listen.
So homes like that in Sea Pines or other communities that are older, I mean, work can be done, but it's an investment. But work can be done to update them and make them look good.
The builder did a great job. The decorator did a great job. It showed extremely well, and he got a good price for it. He's very happy.
I want to ask you, we're going to take a break in a minute, but when we come back, before we move on, about clutter in the house, like everyone loves their little collectibles and figurines or this or that or whatever they collect, and what they should do about that too.
Oh my gosh. We have what we call the 20% rule.
Okay.
That means 20% of your stuff's got to go as a rule of thumb.
Okay, all right.
Most people know that, and they would declutter. Some people live cluttered lives, and there's nothing to do about that. Right. They just clutter everywhere. I've had people that I had to get a dumpster at a person's house one time, and just to unload stuff before we could put it on the market. Most people understand that, but most people don't think their house is cluttered when it is.
Yeah.
So they ask us and we tell them.
Yeah. James Wedgeworth, we're going to take a break, and we will be right back after this.